Ever questioned why fear appears to be so pervasive in our world today? Fear, an ancient survival instinct, has turned into an omnipresent emotion in our contemporary era. It quietly filters into our everyday lives, casting long, ominous shadows over our thoughts, choices, and interactions. It's as if we're dwelling in a fear manufacturing unit, with fear being churned out in large quantities, seeping into each corner of our existence. In the older times, had an immediate, clear purpose. It was our body's reaction to an imminent danger, initiating the fight or flight response to ensure our survival. But presently, fear has taken a much more malignant form. We're not just afraid of physical dangers anymore. We're afraid of rejection, failure, the unknown, the future, and surprisingly, of our own potential. Over the years, we've seen a significant rise in anxiety and fear-related disorders. Data from the World Health Organization suggests that cases of anxiety disorders have surged by nearly 50% in the last 2 decades alone. This leads us to ask, why? Society, it appears, has become a fertile ground for the growth of fear. Our world is undergoing changes at an unprecedented rate. Technology is evolving faster than we can adapt to. The traditional structures and norms we once found solace in are falling apart. The future seems indecisive, and indecision cultivates fear. But it's not just the rate of change that's generating this fear factory, it's also the way we're being trained to react to fear. Instead of being taught to confront our fears, we're often advised to evade them, to seek comfort and safety without exception. This avoidance fuels a cycle of fear, transforming it into a dominant, pervasive sentiment in our lives. Fear, once a mechanism for survival, is now being exploited as a weapon for control. It's being mobilized and commodified, wrapped and resold to us in countless covert ways. The question lingers, why has fear become such a widespread emotion in our world today? As we delve further into this subject, we'll penetrate deeper into the fear factory, scrutinizing its workings, its effects, and most importantly, how we can start to dismantle it. Scene script. Let's turn our attention to one of the most influential platforms, the media. Picture this. It's a regular day, and you switch on your TV to catch up on the news. You're met with a barrage of headlines that are designed to shock, to unsettle, to instill fear. Whether it's the coverage of terrorist attacks halfway across the globe, or the latest pandemic sweeping through your city, it's clear that the media has a significant role in perpetuating fear. Take for instance the coverage of terrorist attacks. The media's focus on these events, while necessary for public awareness, often feeds into a cycle of fear and anxiety. This fear is not just limited to those directly affected by the attacks, but it seeps into the lives of viewers worldwide, creating a sense of insecurity and terror. Similarly, the media's coverage of pandemics can also incite fear. While it's crucial to keep the public informed about the spread of diseases and necessary precautions, the incessant focus on rising case numbers and death tolls can create a climate of fear that is disproportionate to the actual risk for many individuals. But why does the media do this? Why is there such a focus on fear? Well, the answer is simple. Fear sells. It grabs our attention. It keeps us hooked. We are biologically wired to pay attention to potential threats, and the media capitalizes on this. Fear leads to higher viewer engagement, which in turn leads to more profits for media companies. It's a cycle that feeds on itself. The more fear the media generates, the more we watch, and the more we watch, the more fear the media generates. However, it's important to remember that not all media outlets operate this way. There are many responsible journalists and news organizations that strive to provide balanced, accurate, and non-sensationalized information. But the trend towards fear-based reporting is undeniable. Unfortunately, it seems that fear sells and the media knows it. The realm of politics isn't immune to the fear factor. Indeed, the political landscape is rife with narratives of fear. Politicians, more often than not, exploit this emotion to their advantage, using fear as a lever to sway public opinion, influence elections, and consolidate power. Let's delve into a few case studies. Consider the anti-immigration rhetoric that has been a cornerstone of many political campaigns throughout the world. This narrative is often fueled by fear of the other, fear of changing social dynamics, fear of economic uncertainty. Politicians capitalize on these fears, promising to protect citizens from these perceived threats, thereby securing votes and power. Another poignant example is the war on terror. In the aftermath of the September 11th attacks, fear was at an all-time high. Politicians worldwide seized this opportunity, implementing policies and military actions in the name of security, often at the expense of civil liberties. The fear of another attack, the fear of the unknown enemy, was so pervasive that it allowed for these drastic measures to be widely accepted. Fear, in these instances, is not just an emotional response, it becomes a narrative, a story that politicians weave into their campaigns and policies. It's a story that resonates with us because it taps into our primal instincts, our innate desire for safety and security. But here's the catch. When fear is used as a political tool, it often oversimplifies complex issues. It reduces nuanced conversations to binary choices, us versus them, safe versus dangerous, right versus wrong. It polarizes societies, creating divisions and animosities that can be difficult to bridge. Moreover, fear-based politics can lead to reactionary decision-making, prioritizing short-term safety over long-term solutions. This can result in policies that are not only ineffective but can also exacerbate the very issues they aim to resolve. Fear, it seems, can be a powerful tool in the hands of those seeking power. But as we navigate through this world of fear-based narratives, it's crucial for us to question, to challenge, to seek beyond the surface. Because fear, while a powerful motivator, should not be the sole driver of our political discourse and decision-making. Fear doesn't just affect our minds, it also affects our wallets. Our economic decisions, whether as individuals or as a society, are heavily influenced by fear. Fear can lead us to make decisions that may not be in our best financial interest. It can steer us away from opportunities, pushing us towards perceived safety. But fear in economics can also lead to instability and crisis. Take, for instance, the financial crisis of 2008. Fear played a significant role in this catastrophic event. As the housing bubble burst, financial institutions and investors became fearful of the risks associated with their investments. This fear led to a massive sell-off, which in turn caused the stock market to plummet. The fear was contagious, spreading from Wall Street to Main Street, leading to a widespread financial panic. Fear can also lead to job insecurity. With the rise of automation and artificial intelligence, many people fear that their jobs will become obsolete. This fear can lead to stress and anxiety, which can affect productivity and job performance. It can also cause people to resist technological advancement, which could hinder economic growth and development. Fear can also drive us to make irrational financial decisions. For instance, fear of missing out, or FOMO, can lead people to jump on investment bandwagons without fully understanding the risks involved. This can lead to financial bubbles and eventual crashes, as we've seen with the dot-com bubble and more recently, with some cryptocurrency markets. Fear can also lead us to overspend or underspend. Fear of not having enough can lead us to hoard money, while fear of missing out can lead us to spend beyond our means. Both of these behaviors can lead to financial instability. Fear in economics is a powerful and often destructive force. It can lead to financial crises, job insecurity, irrational financial decisions, and economic instability. But by recognizing the role fear plays in our economic decisions, we can better manage our fears and make more rational financial choices. When fear takes over, rationality often takes a back seat. In the age of social media, fear spreads faster than ever. This network of instant communication has become a breeding ground for fear, amplifying our anxieties and stoking the fires of our deepest worries. It's an open secret that fear, whether rational or not, is a driving force behind many of our clicks, shares, and likes. Take, for example, the COVID-19 pandemic. Misinformation ran rampant online, leading to unnecessary panic and confusion. Unfounded rumors of scarcity led to the hoarding of basic goods, from toilet paper to hand sanitizer. The fear was palpable, and it was fueled by the rapid spread of inaccurate information through social media channels. But it's not just global crises that can be amplified by social media. There's a more subtle, insidious type of fear that's born from the constant comparison and competition we see on these platforms. It's called the fear of missing out, or FOMO. We've all felt that twinge of envy when we see a friend's vacation photos or read about a colleague's promotion. This constant exposure to the highlight reels of others' lives can lead to a pervasive fear that we're being left behind, that we're missing out on something important. But perhaps the most dangerous aspect of fear on social media is the creation of echo chambers. These are spaces where our beliefs, fears, and biases are reinforced and amplified by algorithms that feed us content based on what we've previously liked or shared. They create a feedback loop of fear, where our anxieties are continually confirmed and heightened. In these echo chambers, fear isn't just a fleeting emotion, It's a constant companion. We're fed a steady diet of content that preys on our fears. Whether it's the fear of the unknown, the fear of the other, or the fear of missing out. In the digital world, fear can go viral in an instant. But it's crucial to remember that while fear can be contagious, so can courage, so can hope, and so can truth. And it's these qualities that we must cultivate and spread, even in the face of fear. So, how can we break free from the grip of fear? Overcoming fear is no small feat, but it is crucial in our quest to reclaim a sense of security and peace of mind. It starts within each one of us, with the nurturing of our ability to think critically. Critical thinking is more than just a skill, it's a shield. It's our line of defense against fear-mongering and manipulation. It encourages us to question, to scrutinize, and to seek evidence before accepting any claim. And in an era when fear is used as a tool, critical thinking is our most powerful weapon. Alongside critical thinking, media literacy plays a vital role. It's about understanding the media landscape, decoding the messages we receive, and recognizing the intentions behind them. Media literacy means becoming an informed consumer, capable of discerning fact from fiction, and seeing beyond the headlines designed to provoke fear. It's about taking control of the narratives that influence our lives. And then, there is mindfulness, a practice that roots us in the present moment, allowing us to step back from our fears and see them for what they are, transient thoughts and emotions. Mindfulness helps us to respond rather than react, to choose courage over fear. It reminds us that fear, no matter how intense, is not a permanent state. But overcoming fear is not just an individual task, it's a collective effort. We must strive to build a resilient society, one that can withstand fear without crumbling under its weight. A society that values truth, fosters open dialogue, and promotes emotional intelligence. A society that doesn't just survive fear, but thrives despite it. In the end, overcoming fear is about reclaiming our human spirit. It's about choosing hope over despair, love over hatred, and understanding over ignorance. It's about realizing that fear may darken our path, but it doesn't have to define our journey. It's time to reclaim our peace of mind from the fear factory. Fear is powerful, but it doesn't have to control us. Our journey today has taken us through the fear factory of society, showing how it's prevalent in media, politics, economy, and even on social media platforms. We've seen how these elements can stir up fear, creating a society more scared than ever. But it's essential to remember, fear is not the enemy here. It's a natural response designed to protect us. The real danger lies in letting it dictate our actions and decisions, leading to a society paralyzed by its own anxieties. We've also explored ways to overcome fear, emphasizing the importance of understanding it. By recognizing fear's origins and influences, we can begin to deconstruct it, reducing its hold over us. Let's not forget the power of courage, a conscious decision that can act as our shield against fear. The choice is ours to make. Remember, fear is a reaction, courage is a decision. Let's choose courage.